The topic is velocity time graphs. So for an object traveling along a straight line, the velocity time graph tells us the variation of its velocity with time. So what is the significance of velocity time graph and what is the need of plotting the velocity time graph? Basically, to check that the variation of an object according to the time and how the velocity is changing of an object with respect to the time. For motion along a straight line, the velocity magnitude is equals to speed. So hence a velocity time graph is sometimes also referred as speed time graph. We remember this thing that when an object is traveling in a straight line, then its distance and displacement becomes equal. Hence in speed and velocity will also become equal. So the graph of that object will a straight line. So to plot the velocity time graph, we take time along the x-axis and velocity along the y-axis. As time is independent entity, that's why we take it on x-axis, and velocity is dependent quantity, that's why we take it on y-axis. Next is first category is the velocity time graph for uniform motion. In uniform motion, an object covers equal displacement in equal time intervals. The time intervals and the intervals of displacement both are equal. So uniform motion graph, horizontal line parallel to the time axis, and velocity remains constant over time. So this is the velocity time graph which is constant because as the time is passing over, but the velocity of an object keeps on constant at different time positions, we can observe it. So with the help of this velocity time graph, we can calculate the distance. And how do we calculate the distance using velocity time graph? So the distance calculation is basically, the distance is nothing but the area under the velocity time graph. So this is velocity multiplied time. This is how we calculate the area under the graph, and which gives me the distance. So area under the graph gives us the distance, but the graph should be of velocity time. So this time is basically the length of this rectangle, and this velocity will become the breadth of this rectangle, and the area will become the distance covered. So the area under the horizontal line, that is velocity time graph, represents the distance covered. Now we have taken the example to make it more clear for the given time interval T1 to T2. So this is the time interval which is T1 to T2. Points on the graph A. We have taken the points on the graph A at T1 and the points on the graph B at T2. There are some coordinates of A and B at different time positions T1 and T2. So if I want to calculate the distance, then I need to calculate the area of this graph. Area under this graph, and area under this graph is equals to area of this rectangle, and area of rectangle is length into breadth. The formula for area of rectangle is length into breadth, and length is CD and breadth is AD. So how do we calculate CD? CD is the difference between time intervals, that is T2 minus T1. And AD is the difference between the velocity intervals, that is from 0 to V, we can say that. That is V minus 0. So from here we will get the distance covered, S, area under this graph. So the magnitude of displacement or distance covered is equals to the area under velocity time graph. Next, second category is velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion. Now velocity is changing, but the velocity is changing at constant rate. That's why the acceleration is constant. So when the object is initially at rest, so the graph is started from origin as the object is initially at rest, and the object covers the object has equal rate of velocity as the acceleration is constant. So rate of velocity, or we can say that intervals of velocity and intervals of time remain constant. That's why it's represent uniformly accelerated motion. So what is the shape of the graph? This is inclined straight line passing through the origin. This straight line is inclined to the x-axis and it is passing through the origin because the object is at rest initially. So what it means that velocity increases uniformly with time and indicating it a constant acceleration. So how do we can calculate the constant acceleration through this velocity time graph? By calculating the slope. So for slope, we have to consider the 2 points A and B and write the coordinates. Like this is the A and the coordinates of A is T1, comma V1 and the coordinates of B is T2, comma V2. First of all, we have to write the X coordinate, then Y. So after calculating the coordinates, we have to calculate the slope, and for slope we have to calculate change in velocity, that is Vg, which is V2 minus V1. This is V1 and this is V2, the y coordinate. And the change in time, that is Ag. From A to G the time is changing, that is from T2 minus T1, the final minus initial time. And the slope will give me the acceleration, that is V2 minus V1 over T2 minus T1. And the slope of velocity time graph is acceleration. That is uniform acceleration. So how do we calculate the displacement or distance with the help of this graph? Again, we have to calculate the area under the graph. Area under the graph, we have divided this graph into two portions. The first is the triangle and the second is the rectangle. The first we'll calculate the area of triangle, that is AGB. This triangle is AGB. And what is the formula of triangle area? That is half base into height. What is the base of the triangle AG and what is the height of the triangle BG? Next, we'll calculate the area of the triangle, that is ADCG, length into breadth. Length is CD and breadth is AD. And if we want to calculate the total displacement or total distance, then we need to add the area of rectangle plus area of triangle. Then we get the total distance covered with the help of this velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion. Next is velocity time graph for uniformly accelerated motion, but the object has some finite velocity initially. Now the object is not started from rest. As the graph has started from here, that means the object had some initial velocity, that is u. So again, it is a straight line which is inclined to the time axis but does not pass through the origin because it has some finite velocity initially. Initial velocity is u, which is finite, and velocity increases uniformly with time. So how do we calculate the uniform acceleration? With the help of the slope of velocity time graph. So we have to take the 2 points T1 V1 and T2 V2. Same. This is the point T1 comma V1 and this is the point T2 comma V2. After that, we'll calculate the change in velocity, that is Vg, that is V2 minus V1, and time interval change, that is T2 minus T1. And acceleration is nothing but the slope of the graph, that is V2 minus V1 over T2 minus T1. So with the help of the slope formula, we can get the acceleration through the velocity time graph. Now, if we need to calculate the distance or displacement covered, then we can find the area under this graph. Again, we have divided this graph into two parts, this rectangle and this triangle. We are going to calculate the area of this rectangle, that is length into breadth. Then area of triangle, half base into height. Base is AG and height is BG. And then adding both the portions will get the total displacement or total distance covered through this velocity time graph. Next category is the velocity time graph for uniformly retarded motion. In uniformly retarded motion, the acceleration is negative because the velocity is decreasing but at a uniform rate. So again, the graph represents a straight line but which is inclined downwards and intersecting time axis at a finite point, and at which point it will going to intersect the time axis means the object stopped now. The object starts with an initial velocity u. As the object has started from here, the object has some initial velocity u and decreases uniformly due to negative acceleration. The velocity is decreasing, that's why the graph is going to be in downward direction and it will come to rest when it will going to intersect the time axis. So at this axis, we can say that the object comes to rest. This is the stop position. So how do we calculate the negative acceleration? Acceleration is the slope of the graph. So we have to take 2 points A and B. This A point has some initial velocity, that is u, and the B point has some final velocity, that is equals to 0. So first of all, we have to calculate the change in velocity, that is final minus initial, v minus u. V is 0 because it will going to intersect the time axis, and change in time, that is t2 minus t1. So the slope is change in velocity over change in time, and we will get this formula by substituting the value of v as 0. So slope of the graph represents the negative acceleration. Now, if we want to calculate the displacement or distance covered, again we divide this graph into two portions. The first part is the rectangle and the second part is triangle. The area of rectangle is calculated with the formula of length into breadth, and area of triangle will be calculated with the formula half base into height. And after adding these both the areas, will get the net or total displacement or the total distance covered. So the next is velocity time graph for non-uniformly accelerated motion. Now these graphs are basically for non-uniformly accelerated motion. Acceleration is not constant. So it can be a curved line. It's not a straight line. The acceleration is changing over time. That's why it's a curved line, not a straight line. Velocity changes at a non-constant rate because acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity but at a constant rate. And if velocity changes at non-constant rate, it produces non-constant or non-uniform acceleration. That's why the graph is a curved line, not the straight line. How do we calculate the displacement? We need to calculate area under the graph. And to find the displacement, we have to calculate the area under the graph between the given time intervals. So we have to split this graph into different time intervals, and then we need to find the area of that parts, and then we will add together. This can involve approximating areas using shape like rectangles, trapezoids, or by integrating the curve if necessary, but that's not the part of syllabus for now.